Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim, and today I want to rank all the books I read in 2024. I read 122 books in 2024, and looking back at all the books I read when I was making the tier list, I realized I read a lot of books on KU last year, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I do enjoy a good palate cleanser book, and I usually go to KU when I want that. Um, sometimes they're not that great, but there are really good books on KU that you can, little gems that you can find on there. But yeah, looking at the books, there's a good mix of fantasy, romance, and dark romance. I think that about sums it up. Those are usually the genres I read. So let's get into ranking all of them. Okay, as you can see here, I picked 6 different categories to rank all the books in. We have Lives Rent Free in My Mind, Loved, Liked It, Would Recommend, It Was Fine, I Read This, and Chore to Finish. I had to add that I read this in here because when I was also looking through these, I feel like some of them were like I can vaguely remember reading it, but like I can't really remember any sort of like plot points or like characters. So I had to throw that one in there. I think that when you read a lot of books in a year, I think that tends to happen. There's just going to be some that just aren't going to stick out, for you. Okay, so let's get started. I guess we'll just go in order here, or I don't know, maybe I'll start in order and then I'll start jumping around. I don't know. The 7-Year Slip. I really liked this book. It's like a, romance. It has it's a contemporary romance, but it has a touch of whimsy in there. I liked the characters. I don't know if I would put this in loved it, but I did really like it. So let's put it in like it, would recommend, because I definitely would recommend it. Behold Her. This one, I can vaguely remember it. I think it was fine. I read this one after I read Bride, which is the next one here, because I was like, I'm gonna try some more like monster-esque romance, but this is like, I think he's like a demon. That's all I really remember. So I think it was fine. Like nothing sticks out really. But I don't remember hating it, so. Okay, Bride. Now, something else I realized when I was like going through Goodreads to like pick out all the books that I read, like I think at the beginning of last year, I think I was way more lenient on my ratings, and then like towards the end of the year, I think I got a lot harder on rating books. So I don't know. I don't know if my Goodread ratings still reflect the way I truly feel about the book. But I still did really like Bride. I think a lot of what I see about Bride is either you kind of love it or you kind of hate it. I've seen a lot of people say it's their least favorite Allie Hazelwood book. I've only read one other Allie Hazelwood book at the moment, which is, I think, Love Theoretically, which I really liked. And I have her on my TBR. I actually want to try to read some of her next month in February. But I also want to say I loved Bride, even though I think at the time I may have rated it 5 stars, but I think I would probably feel more comfortable putting it in the like it, would recommend. This is a werewolf vampire love story. So like there's some political stuff going on in it, a little bit of mystery going on in that book too. So I would recommend it for the right audience. Burning the Midnight Oil. All I can remember about this, it's an MM romance, it's an MM cowboy romance, and there's a series, and I read them all, and again, I think I remembered liking them all just fine, but I couldn't tell you which one is about which set of characters. And I know there's another one too I haven't read yet. I think it came out after I finished the 3 that I read. And I don't know, maybe I'll get to it one day. So I think it was fine. I think that would go in, it was fine. Okay, Butcher and Blackbird. I think I'm in a minority group here. People love this book, and I didn't hate it. It just wasn't what I guess I wanted a darker, and maybe some people would think that's weird if they've read it, hearing me say I wanted it to be darker, but it's like a rom-com with serial killers. And maybe it was too rom-com-y for me for, like, I don't know, for it to be about serial killers. I think that's what a lot of people like about it. But I don't know. It made me, I don't know. I guess maybe it just maybe wasn't what I was expecting, which kind of made me not like it as much. I also have I bought the second one. It's in here somewhere. But I've yet to read it because I'm like, meh. But I guess I would put it in liked it, would recommend, because I think for the right person, I think, like, again, people love this book, so I think if it's the right person, I think you would love it. Camera Shy. I realize I'm not seeing any of the authors for these because, like, off the top of my head, there's only going to be a few I'm going to remember the authors for, and I cannot see the author's name in these little pictures. But actually, no, this Kay Cove is the author of Camera Shy. Again, I think a lot of these are going to be in the, I think most of these are going to go in the I liked it or the it was fine category, I think, today. But I liked Camera Shy. I think it was a little insta-lovey for me. I really hate insta-love. Maybe it was more like insta-lust, but I don't know. It's a little too much on that. So I think that kind of like brought it down a little bit for me. But I think I would put in, it was fine. I think I'm comfortable with it there. Okay, Epic. Okay, Epic is part of a series. So let me grab actually all those. So Epic is part of technically a 5-book series, I guess. But so him, I'm just going to stick him here for now. They're not going to go in that category. I guarantee you. Him, Us, Good Boy, and Stay. And Epic. Okay, so this is like a series. So technically, I guess Him, Us, and Epic are a trilogy, but yet, and then Good Boy and Stay, I think, are supposed to be technically a duology. I mean, like, these aren't like a fantasy series where you like necessarily have to read them all. Well, you do have to read Him and Us together, but like Good Boy and Stay, I guess you could technically read as standalones. But like this is in a whole universe, like all the characters are interconnected, so it like makes more sense to read them all together. But yeah, but technically Epic happens after Good Boy and Stay. So I read them in this order, actually. Him, Us, Good Boy, Stay, and then Epic. These are dual written by Serena Bowen. Let me jump on Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy, which Elle Kennedy writes tons of sports romance novels. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. She writes The Graham Effect and what is this series called altogether? I forget, but this Deal, Mistake, these ones, it's totally, I'm blanking. She wrote all those. She writes a lot of sports romances, college typically. So these are really well written. I really like all these a lot, actually. I would say of the 5, Good Boy is probably my least favorite. And Epic is just a little novella. I think it was like 60 or 80 pages. I don't know. It was like super short, super quick. I think I'm tempted to just put them all in the I liked it, would recommend column. This is harder than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, let's put them all there. I think I'm comfortable. I am tempted to maybe put Him and Us in the I loved it. And I know I like to Stay more than Good Boy. Good Boy, again, these are all hockey romances. Him and Us are MMM romances, and then Good Boy and Stay are male-female romances. Like I said, all interconnected. I really liked this series. I think I'm good with them being there, and I liked it. Would recommend. Okay, Face Off. I think I know this is a hockey romance. I mean, the cover helps me there, but like I read so many, and I feel like if I like maybe look this up on Goodreads real quick, I'd be like, oh, okay. I think I'm gonna have to put it in the I read this column, because in this moment I can't think of any. No, nothing comes to mind. So I think I'm gonna have to put that there. I guess. I don't think I hated it. I think the thing is I think if I hated them, I would remember, because I typically remember books I hate, and I would typically remember, and I hate is a strong word, but books that aren't for me. I'll just say that, because, you know, a book I hate can be someone's favorite book, and that's cool. I think that's one of the best things about reading, is it's very subjective, and, you know, yeah, anyway, that's great. But okay, so books that weren't for me, I'll really remember those, and I really remember books I love, and then, you know, I can remember books fairly well that I like, but the ones that are just kind of like fine, or, you know, it's harder. So I'm going to put that one there. The next book is Eurodream by Kate Stewart. I know you've heard me talk about Kate Stewart a lot. She wrote the Ravenhood series, but she has these other contemporary romances that some of them are Christmas. This one, I guess, is technically, I wouldn't consider this a Christmas book, even though it happens like in the winter time, and I think Christmas happens within the span of the book, but I wouldn't put this one in that category. They have little Easter eggs in them for the Ravenhood series, so I recommend them if you really, especially if you like the Ravenhood series. But this is very different from the Ravenhood series, because Ravenhood series is very like dark and, you know, leans to dark romance. These are more like a contemporary romance. You know, they're funny, and they're also very, there's a lot of heart in them. She's just a good writer. I really liked it, and I remember really loving this one. I think I might put it in loved it, because it was like, it was very I don't know if relatable's, it wasn't typical. Maybe that's missing, is it wasn't like, you know, a lot of romance, you know, there's not a lot of surprises in romance books a lot of times. And that's good, I think, because it's not bad. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we read romance because we want like a certain feeling. But like this one makes you wonder about the ending. Like you're not too sure exactly how it's going to end. So I think I'm good with putting it. I loved it. Okay, funny story. If you watched my other videos, you know I loved funny story. I'm going to put that goes right to loved. I'm not going to say it lives rent free. That's reserved for very few books on this list. But I did love funny story. I love Emily Henry. I loved the characters in this book. So yeah, that one's easy. Loved it. Daydream, also, I think going to go to love it. This is the third book of the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace. That's Icebreaker, Wildfire, and Daydream. I'm actually part of a book club that's reading Icebreaker right now, and there's a lot of mixed reviews. I read Icebreaker in 2023, and at that time I remember really I liked it. I thought it was cute. I didn't have any big problems with it, but like a lot of my friends are like, I don't really care for this, and I'm like, I don't know. I think a lot of times my ratings for books are very much like based in my mood, and I think if I'm in a good mood, I'm like more like, yeah, I liked it. 4 stars, 5 stars. I give out stars a lot easier. And then not necessarily if I'm in a bad mood, but maybe sometimes I'm just in a more critical mood. And then I get a little bit more picky about my stars. But to say that Daydream is my favorite book in that Maple Hill series. It's about Henry, who I loved Henry's character from the get-go. So I was excited for his love story, and I really like Daydream. So I'm going to put on I loved it. Okay. So next we have Dear Rosie. This is by S.J. Tilley. This was fine. I think this is fine. She's a little too insta-lovey for me to like really like it. And it was also like the writing, like the chapters are like super short and a little too choppy. I don't know, sometimes it feels a little too choppy. I don't know. There's just something that kept me from like really getting into that. So it was fine. It's fine. Crescent City. I think this one is going to go lives rent free because I'll still think about this book. I still think about this world. I still think about these characters. So that's the first book, Crescent City. All three are here because I read them all in January last year. I think it was January. I think the last one came out in January, maybe beginning of February. I don't know, whatever. I read them all in a couple weeks. And I would say the first one, I think, I'm going to say the first two are going to live rent free in my head especially because of how the second book ends. And if you know, you know. So I think both would go lives rent free. Let's just jump to the third one. Third one, I'm going to put in I love it. I don't care. Come for me. I know a lot of people don't like that book. They think the series really dropped off. I don't know. I loved it. Maybe I was in the hype. I think sometimes that will affect how I feel about a book too. I loved it. I want more. I think she's going to write one more book for that series, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all S-Jam's books. So, yeah, there we go. Crossroads. I vaguely remember this. I know it's a small town romance. I think it's like Cowboy. I think it's a small town cowboy romance. I got this book in my Probably Smut book subscription box. And my friend who also has the box, were like, let's buddy read it. I said, okay. And I remember it being fine. I don't think it was anything amazing or anything really like that stuck with me, but I don't remember hating it. So fine. Endgame. This book was a chore to finish. It was kind of weird. Where were we? Sorry, Reapy was barking. Endgame. Endgame, I think, is the first book I might have to put in. It was a chore to finish. I'm bad at DNFing books. It's something I want to get better about this year, because there's just too many books to read, and I shouldn't be like spending my time reading a book that I am not enjoying, and I'm kind of trying to have to force myself to finish. The bad thing is a lot of times I read, like, I'm like 50% in, and I'm just like, but I already spent so much time. Like, I'm just going to push through and finish it so it can be a book I finish. But, if I could go back in time, I probably would DNF this book. It's a kind of an odd premise, chore to finish. This one, 8 Seconds to Ride, is part of that cowboy romance I was talking about earlier. Where did I put that? Oh, I put it and it was fine. I think I'm going to, this cowboy romance, cowboy romance. Again, like I said, I think they were fine. I know I enjoyed them in the moment. Like, they were quick reads, KU reads. But like, again, I can't really like, I can vaguely remember what happened in each book. But again, I don't remember. I think that's the first one. I think that's the first book. Let me just put the other one. Here's the other one. What is it even called? Dirt Road Secrets? Yeah, I don't even remember what they were called. They're fine. They're fine. I think if you want an cowboy romance and you want a quick palate cleanser read, I think they're good for that. Will you remember the details? I don't know. Maybe you will. I didn't. I couldn't tell you a character name. Well, one's a bull rider. One's about a bull rider. They're all cowboys, okay? You like cowboy romance? Maybe try them. Okay. Exodus. We may as well. Let's just get this all here. We're going to put them. If you know me, if you watched my other videos, you know these are going to go straight Ravenhood series. Straight to the top. Lives rent free in my head. I think about these books all the freaking time. All the freaking time. I don't know if there'll ever be a day where I don't think about them. At least a little bit. Where's the other one? The Finish Line. Where are you? Where are you? Does anyone see it? Oh, here it is. Okay. This one's gonna go straight up here. Probably my favorite romance series ever, as of now. I mean, I do still think I'm kind of new to the reading world. In my adult life, I guess I should say. So maybe another one will come that I like, but I love this one so much. I read it twice last year. I will probably listen to it again in the future. It's gut-wrenching. It's a why choose, kind of a dark romance. I've said this about this before. It's a series that's hard to kind of put in categories, but I recommend it to everyone. And it's actually been great because some of you have read it, started to read it since my first video, and it makes me so excited that you're liking it. I hope you like all of them because I had some friends start it and they fell off. They liked the first 2 books and fell off. So I hope if you're one of the people that have started reading this because of my recommendation, I hope you like the whole thing. So, like I did. So, but it lives rent-free. And hopefully it lives rent-free in your head. I don't know if that's good or bad because it's sad, but yeah. Okay, Consider Me. People like this book. It's a hockey romance. At this point in time, I can't even remember why I don't like it, but I remember I hated it. I remember I did not like it. I think it was something about the writing. It was something about the characters. I can't even remember now. I'm pretty sure it was how the woman was written. I just know I didn't like it. I know a lot of people do. I see it all the time. I saw it this weekend. I saw the book on the table at Barnes & Noble this weekend, and I was looking at them, and it was on like a table where it's like buy one, get one half off, and had one book there that I wanted to get, but I couldn't find another book, and I saw that one. I was like, well, it's not going to be that book. I can tell you that much right now. But yeah. Okay, Flawless. I was talking about this the other day. Elsie Silver. I finally started my Elsie Silver deep dive, my read, my cowboy romance era, if you will, last December, and I really liked Flawless. I think I would put it, and I liked it, would recommend. Now, ask me at the end of next year when I might be doing this, where all my 2025 reads, and you get to Heartless. Gonna go higher than that because I've only read the 2 so far. I think I might start Powerless today. I just finished a book this morning, so Powerless might be up next. But yeah, cowboy romance, bull rider, and his like agent, and characters are really well developed. There's heart in her books. There's something in the men that she writes. Yes, highly recommend. Okay. Cold as Ice is part of a series. It's a trilogy. Let me grab all these. Cold as Ice. Break the Girl. I know Break the Girl is the first book. And Sick Wicked Love. I can't remember. Can't remember which is the second and the third book, but I know Break This Girl is the first book. I really liked the series. I don't hear anyone talk about it. I don't even know how I found it. I think I was looking for Why Choose series. And this one came up, and I really liked this. I think I might put it in loved. I think I might. It's not for everyone. I'm going to tell you this right now. It is a dark romance. It's not for everybody. It's kind of a little bit of a bully romance in the beginning. There's something especially bad happens in the first book. I got the first book for one of my friends for Christmas, and I can't wait till she reads it because I need somebody to talk to about this book. I told my sister all about it because she didn't care if I spoiled it for her because I needed, at the time, I needed to tell someone about what I read because I felt a little odd about it. I felt a little, I don't know. Anyways, if you read it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, and you'll let me know if you read it. But this is not for everyone. Like I said, it's a dark romance. It's kind of a bully romance. It's a college hockey romance. On top of that, you have like a mystery. The main female character is trying to figure out who, I don't want to say too much because I can't remember what spoilers or not, but she's trying to figure out something that happened with her sister. I'll say that. She's trying to like figure out like a mystery. That's probably the easiest way for me to describe it without potentially spoiling anything. But yeah, I don't know. I really like that series. So I think I'm comfortable with putting it in love. Okay, Dom. This is a mafia romance series. Let's see. We have Dom, King. There's 4 books in this. Nero. And Hans. Where are you, Hans? Oh, here it is. Okay. These were fine. I think I remember liking some more than others. I think I liked Dom the least. Or was it Nero the least? I can't remember. I think for the right person, these would be good. I know I liked 3 of them enough to put them in like it. I can't remember if it's Nero or Dom is the one I didn't care for enough, and I can't. I guess I could look up my Goodreads, but let me look up my Goodreads. I'll put those 3 in liked, it would recommend, and this one, and it was fine. I think I'm happy with that. Again, they're like mafia romances. They have plus size female characters, which is one of the reasons why I've read it. I've mentioned before, I'm always looking for a book with plus size female characters. But yeah, mafia romances. So, you know, you got some morally gray men in there. So be prepared for that if you read it. Okay, Belladonna. Belladonna is part of a trilogy. Belladonna, Foxglove, Wisteria, by Adeline Grace. They're over there. I had a reader. I haven't gone on to read the second and third one yet of this book. I read this in December, so I do want to continue the series. I'm hoping I like the second and third better. I didn't dislike Belladonna. These are young adult gothic fantasy books. You got like the main female character, and like there's a relationship with death in there. I'd say I put it in like it would recommend. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I think the main thing I didn't like about it is the main female character annoyed me a little bit, and I'm hoping her character will grow enough in like the second and third book that I'll like them better. That's what my hope is for the book, but I'll let you know once I read those. The next is Feybound. Feybound. I think I'm gonna have to put it in It Was Fine. This is also another fantasy series. The second book comes out next month, I believe. Like there's fae and magic. I think something I liked. This is a sapphic romance too. Just something I liked. Main female character's a little older. I liked that. I don't know. I wish I could remember at the time. I know I had like succinct thoughts at the time of reading it because I actually did this as a buddy read with a friend, and I know her and I had similar feelings about it, and we talked a lot about it. At this moment in time, I can't think of those succinct thoughts. So you're getting my, I don't know, Monday thoughts. So, but yeah, I think there were issues I had. I can't remember those issues at the moment, but I remember it was fine. I don't know if I'll continue it. I might give the second book a try. Sometimes I think fantasy books, the first books, you got to set up a world. You got to, there's a lot you got to do in your first book. And like the second, third books might be better. So I might give the second book a try eventually. I'm not going to like run out and get it, but eventually I might give it a try. I apologize. I'm probably looking down so much during this video, but I'm looking at my laptop, so I apologize for that. X's and O's. I love X's and O's. Oh, X's and O's. X's and O's. Kayla Grosse. Again, love Kayla Grosse. This is going to be a novella, so it's a short, quick read. It is a holiday book. It is a male-female romance, so polyamory. And I loved it. Okay, it's fun. It's a fun, quick read. It's spicy. Again, I always have to do that disclaimer for Kayla's books. They are spicy. All the peppers. Okay, so if that's not your thing, I wouldn't recommend. If you're cool with that, I would recommend. Again, another plus-size female character. You're going to see that a lot. It's going to probably be a running theme. I try to read a lot. If I find a book that has plus-size female character, I don't always read them, but depending on the vibe of the book, but I try to read as many as I can. Some are not the best, so it's like some of them I don't read, but if they have decent reviews, I try them out. Okay. Dragon. This is also a series. Dragon, Ghost. Ghost is the first. I'm just going to sit out here for a second. Dragon, Ghost, and Wolf. I read these. There's also another book, Devil. I didn't read it. I couldn't bring myself to. I almost made it through the series. For my sanity, I stopped. I read these in October last year because I wanted like a spooky vibe. They were a chore. I would maybe put Ghost in. It was fine. They got worse and worse. They really did. Wolf was it was such a chore. Luckily, they're not that long, and I got through it. I don't like to bash books, so I'm not. It's not for me. Again, like I said earlier, not for me. Maybe you'll like it. They actually are rated pretty well on Goodreads, which is why I tried them out. They have a plus size female character. It's a Why Choose series, with a demon, dragon / vampire, yeah, and a werewolf. And the third, like I said, if I continued, I would have read the book with the devil. But I couldn't bring myself to keep going. It's just like the female character had like zero growth, but like you were told she grew, but like there was no evidence of it in her character at all. And I think that's something that can be a running theme in some of these romances, especially like a Why Choose, when there's more than one, especially if there's more than one guy. The females are just written so flat. It's like all the thoughts put into the men, the character development of the men, and like not even like that's not even the greatest, and the females are just like flat and uninteresting. And like, yeah, that was the issue here for me with this one. This series, okay, this is also a trilogy. Scene, Sound. I can't read what this is. There's 3 books though. Scene, Sound. Okay, this one, Touching Oblivion, and what's this one say? What does it say, guys? Something Forever. Feeling Forever? Maybe it's Feeling Forever. Is my laptop like so gross and dirty? Oh my god, sorry. There's so many fingerprints on it. This was fine. It was fine. It's a another way. I went through a Why Choose area. I want to read more Why Choose actually, but I did a few Why Choose series last year. It was fine. It was weird. Kind of another one where the female character was the problem. Like she just like no growth, very like meek, and I don't know. She like has like I don't know. She's like almost has like visions, I guess, in a sense. I don't know. But yeah, just fine. Female character, kind of boring, kind of like I said, too meek, too I don't know. It was fine. I don't think I would recommend it. Okay, A Fate. If you watch my last video, you know this one's hard for me to say. A Fate Inked in Blood. I really liked this book. Did I love it? Like it, would recommend. That one's hard. I think I'm picky about what I want to put, and I loved it. I think I'm going to put it in liked it, would recommend. Yeah. I think I'm good. I think I'm good with it there. Norse mythology fantasy book, like Vikings vibe. I liked it, would recommend. Second book comes out next month. No, March. First half of this year. It comes out this year. I'm gonna read it. I'm excited to read it. I'm really excited to see where this the series. It's just a duology, which I love. I want more duologies. You know, I don't know. They're just a lot less commitment. But yeah, I like that one a lot. Filthy Rich Vampire. I think I'll put this in. It was fine. There's nothing necessarily bad about this. It's a series, and I didn't continue it. I guess that kind of shows that I wasn't like it's not super into it. And it's not even that like I maybe like wouldn't maybe read it in the future. I just like wasn't ready to like rush out and continue it. So fine, it's fine. Obviously about a vampire. The Sea Agreement. I vaguely remember reading this. I think it's like a brother's best friend. And like, it's kind of like a dating, what do you call it? Dating lessons, I think, kind of thing. I think it was fine. I think I remember it being fine. You know, nothing great. Okay, here we got another one. Another one that I do remember. And you want to know why I remember it? Gothic Hannah. Because it was a chore to finish. I still have it because it has pretty purple edges. The book's really pretty. No. It's a dark academia book. It was just written poorly, in my opinion. I couldn't get around some of the, some of the writing and some of the choices for the story. It was a chore. It was a chore. In 5 years. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. I talked about this in my top books of 2024 because this one made it. It's a romance. It's a short book. I highly recommend it. It's an unconventional romance. It doesn't do what you think. It doesn't end up where you think it's going to end up. And that's the reason I read it. I read it in one night because I needed to know. I needed to know what happened. And yeah, loved it. Another one just for the summer. And let's just do all Abby while we're here. This is the Part of Your World series, which starts with Part of Your World. Here we go. Part of Your World, and yours truly, and just for the summer. They're going to go all the way straight to I loved it. I love this series. I love Amy Jimenez. I will now read everything she writes. I want to go back and read her older stuff, even though I have heard her older series aren't as good as this one. Like, this is her really like breakout series. But I do still want to go back and give those a try. And I'm excited for her new book this year. Love these books. This is technically standalone romances, but it's an interconnected characters. I recommend reading all of them in the order. Part of Your World, yours truly, just for the summer. Because there is some stuff that I think just will hit better. Like, you'll understand better if you read them in that order. Highly, highly recommend. Love them. Lights Out. This Lights Out was like a super popular book last year, all over the place. I've heard it's a really good audiobook. I don't really do many audiobooks. Really, I only typically do audiobooks for rereads. I'm not a big audiobook person. And that's not because I have like a stigma. I know some people have a stigma. Oh, it's not writing. I don't care. Like, for me, I just don't connect to a book as well if I just listen to the audio. Now, if it's a reread, I love those. I love that because I can listen to a book. I'm actually listening to Iron Flame right now to get ready for next week. Sonic Storm. Yeah, reread audiobooks. Anyways, so I got off track. I hear this is a great audiobook. People love it. And people really love this book. And I like this book. This is similar vibes to Butcher and Blackbird, I think, because it's a dark romance, but like with like Golden Retriever guy. And I like Golden Retriever guy. Josh, I think his name's Josh. I really like Josh in Lights Out. I do, probably my only complaints with this book is I feel like it went a little too long. Like, towards the end, I was kind of like, I don't know if I don't know if I need this part of it. I don't know. But I really did like it. I would put this in. I liked it, would recommend. I like this much more than Butcher and Blackbird, which makes me kind of second guess where I put Butcher and Blackbird, but it's fine. I'm gonna leave it. But yes, would recommend that one. Dark romance, morally gray. Really liked it. Okay, Love Utley. This is like a part of that. Where did I already put Love Rosie up here? Dear Rosie, Love Utley are kind of like a duology in a sense. It's about this, like, the friend from the people are connected. You don't need to read. You can read one without reading the other. But I did like Love Utley better than Dear Rosie, but I still think I would put it in. It was fine category. It was fine. Just, you know, I don't know. Nothing too crazy. Nothing really too memorable. But nothing bad, I guess. Okay, One Dark Window. This is a duology. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. Oh, look, we're getting pretty close here. Okay. Oops. I'm not putting them here. They weren't a chore to finish. I did like these. I didn't love them. People love these. And I could see why. But I like them. Would recommend, for sure. These are a fantasy duology. I really like the magic system in this book. Magic system I feel is very unique. I don't think I've ever really read anything quite like it. So I do really like that. And I really like the secondary characters. Elm. Please say I said his name right. But yeah, I really like those. I would recommend those for sure. If somebody wants a good duology, a good fantasy duology, recommend for sure. Happy Place. Okay, so I always rave about Emily Henry. And I think, are these, I read the two Emily Henry this year. I think I read all the rest of hers the year before. There's only 2 Emily Henry books, I think. Where are they? Oh, they're up there. Yeah, I think there's only 2 Emily Henry books I don't think I would give 5 stars. And Happy Place is one. So I'm going to put it in I liked it, would recommend. I don't think it's quite up there with loved it. It's probably still like a 4.5 stars. But I don't know, there was something, I mean, I did really like it. There's a good friend group. Do I love it? I guess if I have to question it, maybe I should leave it at liked it. But it's really good. Read Emily Henry. Want to read contemporary romance? Read Emily Henry. Go right now. Play along. A part of me wants to put this in Lives Rent Free. Because this series kind of does live rent free in my head. The series as a whole. I do think about these characters a lot. Not as much as the Ravenhood characters, but I do think about them a lot. I do love them. I think I'm happy with it there. Yeah, it's gonna go there. Okay, Puck Shy. Puck Shy is another novella by Kayla Grosse. Loved it. We're gonna put that in loved it. This is again, it's like a Valentine's Day novella. Short, sweet, spicy. So again, if you, some of you are reading X's and O's because I recommended it. If you like that, read Puck Shy. Read all of her books, but Puck Shy is another one of her good novellas. Spicy. This one, I can't even remember the full name. I think it's called Pucks and Books. Chore to finish. This was not a good book. And that's all I really remember. I just remember I did not like it. I remember I almost stopped. I remember I almost DNF'd it. I think it was supposed to be like a hockey player and like a girl that owns a bookstore, which I thought, oh, perfect. Book, like, sounds perfect. It wasn't perfect. Wasn't for me. Okay. Power Play. Power Play is another Why Choose Hockey Romance. Just a standalone book. I really liked Power Play. Liked it, would recommend. Yep. I remember liking it. Like, I can remember details for sure. I can remember the characters. I can't remember their names, but I remember the characters, and I remember I really liked it. And I, like, to the point where I probably would, I want to own it. I don't have it yet, but I want to own it. If I want to own a book, I liked it. On Ice. I do remember this book. I think it was fine. Another hockey, well, not even. I mean, hockey romance adjacent maybe, because he was a hockey player, but he isn't now. He isn't in this book. His brother is. But yeah, I remember liking it. I think it was cute. His storyline, the main character storyline, is cute, and I liked it. It was fine. Maybe no, not like it. It was fine. Okay, Hellbent. Hellbent is another duology. We got Hellbent and Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. My thoughts. I think I'll put Ninth House and I liked it, would recommend, and Hellbent I would put into I loved it. Ninth House is a lot to. it took me a while to get into it. There's a lot of information in the beginning. These are fantasy. What do they call it? I think they call it urban fantasy set at Yale. I've talked about these before. But yeah, Ninth House took me a while to get into. I was struggling in the beginning, but I got toward probably halfway, quarter of a way, third of the way through maybe on. I liked it, and then I really liked Hellbent. I think because Hellbent didn't have to do all the explanation, all the setup that I talked about that earlier. Sometimes with the fantasies, the first books have a lot of setup, a lot they have to do, and sometimes it kind of leads it being a little. I'm not gonna say boring. I won't say boring, but just a lot to process. Whereas the second books, you can get right into it. So I think that's what I feel happy putting those there. Gravity. This is a male hockey romance. I really like this book. By Talbauer. I like all his books that I've read. Like it. Would recommend for sure. Oh, Goalie Night. I usually like to read only Christmassy books in December. This year I didn't. I didn't read as many. I actually read other books as well, but Ogilvy, it was fine. It was fine. It was like a brother's best friend romance, and yeah, fine. Nothing great. Mistletoe Mine also, it was fine. Nothing amazing. It was a novella. It's a quick read. I think it was a novella. I remember being short. It was fine. Rise of the Cinder Fae. I'm tempted to put this in a chore to finish. This book's so pretty. The physical copy, I have it. The reason I bought it is because it's so pretty. And it was definitely a disappointment. So it's kind of like a Cinderella retelling. I feel like it had a lot of good ideas. I feel like it could have been really good, but it just wasn't executed the best. I remember struggling a little bit. I'm tempted to put it, and it was fine. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Night Shift. It's like a basketball, hockey, or basketball college romance. It was fine. I don't really remember too many details about it. I don't remember hating it. It was fine. Quicksilver. Straight to love. Love it. Loved Quicksilver. Can't wait for the second book this year. It's going to be a series. Fantasy series. Fae. Vampires. All kinds of stuff. Magic. I like fantasy. Give it a shot. I recommend it. I have no idea how many books are going to be in that series, but yes. Liked it. Loved it. Loved it. Legends and Lattes. Okay. I read Legends and Lattes for a book club book. I'm going to put it in. It was fine. This is the thing about Legends. I liked it. It was a very cute book. There was nothing wrong with it. I liked the writing. And, I guess maybe would I put it in like it would recommend? Because I did. It's just not my kind of book, I don't think. Or it's not my typical book. I mean, it's very a cozy read. I think that's how a lot of people describe this. Like a cozy little, it's very low stakes. There's not a whole lot going on. There's a tiny bit of romance. There's a tiny bit of just kind of I don't know, just these, creatures doing their thing. I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on. So if you really like a cozy read, I highly recommend it because it's not bad. It's good. It's a good book. It's written well. It's just necessarily not my typical read. That one was it took me a little while to get into, but then once I got into it, I enjoyed it for what it was. I did really, I'm going to put it in like it would recommend. I would recommend it for the right person. I think the right person could really love that book, actually. In the Weeds, B.K. Borison. This is part of her, she has 4 books in the series. I'm debating between liked it, would recommend it, was fine. I think I was a little disappointed in this one because it's Beckett's book, and I really liked Beckett in the first book, and I think I'm gonna put it in. It was fine. I think that's where. And you know what? Where I'm also put Lore of the Wilds is also going to go. It was fine. I hate doing that. Lore of the Wilds is a debut fantasy book for this author. I'm sorry, I can't remember any authors' names today. I don't know, my mind's just, nope. But the second book of Lord of the Wilds comes out, and I'm gonna read it. I might not rush out and read it, but I think it's coming out soon. Actually, I follow the author, and I've seen her promoting it. I'm not positive on the date. I think it was her debut. So I think this author has like a really, I'm excited for her future books. Because there's nothing bad about the story's interesting, the characters are interesting. I think my biggest issue with that book was I was more told things happened than shown things were happen. And I think sometimes with that, especially with relationships, like right when a relationship's developing in a book, I want to read it happen. I want to read the conversations. I think that's probably partly what it was with that one. It was like a lot of it was just, I was just being told, oh, this happened, or this, they feel this, but I wasn't really shown it. But that's why I'm excited, because I mean, I like the premise of the book a lot. So I'm excited to see where her writing goes in the future. Her Soul to Take. I remember this being fine, because this is a series and I didn't continue it because I kind of was like, I don't know. I just kind of like, I don't know if I was like that concerned with what happens with the other characters. There's actually a really pretty special edition of that book out right now, and I had it pre-ordered. And then I canceled the pre-order because I was like, do I need the physical copy of the book just because it's pretty? Because I don't know if I liked it enough to own it. So it was fine. The Plight Before Christmas, another Kate Stewart book. This is one of her Christmas books. I read this in December and liked it, would recommend. Again, there's an Easter egg in there for the Ravenhood series. And I really liked it. I liked the characters. I liked the story, the main male character's story. I don't want to spoil anything. But I really like that book. It's like a second chance romance. Recommend, especially at Christmas time. And actually, she surprised us like in December with like kind of a second book to that series about another character in that book, and I didn't get to read it. I mean, I could. It doesn't have to be Christmas to read it, but I think I might wait and read it this Christmas because it came out a little too late for me to get it done before Christmas last year. But it's Kate, so I'll read it. Liked it, would recommend. Okay, I'm also might be in the minority here. How the Neighbors Stole Christmas. I hear people love this book. This is another one where I hear people rave about the audiobook. This is my first Megan Quinn book, so I don't know about her others. This was not for me. This was a chore to finish. I didn't think it was funny. People think it's really funny. I didn't think it's funny. It like breaks the third wall. I don't think that was for me. Yeah, it wasn't for me. But people do love this book, so I don't know. Give it a try. But yeah, not for me. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas. This was a MM romance. The Prince of Christmas, Prince of Halloween. I thought this was really cute. I liked it. There's a sequel coming out later this year. I liked it. Would recommend. Definitely would recommend this one. I think it was cute. And I thought the premise was interesting and different. Lessons in Chemistry. I think at the time I rated this 5 stars, but I don't think I would put it in I don't know if I would put it in the loved it column. I liked it. I would recommend it for sure. But I don't know if I'd put it up to the loved. This is, again, a book I read for the book club I'm a part of. Not my typical read, but I did like it. I think liked it. I think I'm happy with it there. Okay, Heartless Hunter, also known as The Crimson Moth, overseas. Liked it. Would recommend. I am excited for the second book that comes out next month, I think. Rebel Witch. I'm excited to see where that story went. Witches, fantasy, enemies to lovers. It's good. Mustang Valley. I don't remember this book at all. I'm guessing it's a cowboy romance. That's it. I don't know. I read this. I don't know. I guess I did. One Last Rainy Day, Kate Stewart. I read a lot of Kate Stewart this last year, I realized. Okay, so this is her spin-off series to Ravenhood series, Ravenhood Legacy series. This is basically the second book from a different character's point of view. And loved it. I didn't love it as much. It doesn't live rent-free. I mean, I guess I could put it in live rent-free because it kind of is dealing with like the same characters, same story. But no, I loved it, but not quite that much. Not quite as much as the original Ravenhood series. So, but yeah, I loved it. Okay. Spark of the Everflame trilogy. I think it goes Spark of the Everflame, I think Glow of the Everflame, and then Heat of the Everflame. I think that's the book 1, 2, 3. I think there's a fourth book coming out this year. This the same thing happened to me that happened with Quicksilver. I read this series because the fourth book was supposed to come out, I think, at the end of July last year. So I was like, okay, great. I can read the whole series. Because that's something I'm like, it's hard when you have so many of these fantasy series. Like, you're in the middle of all of them, and then a new book comes out, and like you kind of have to like refresh your mind about what happened. So I was like, oh, great. I can read them all and be done with it. And I was hearing great things about it. But then it got picked up, traditionally published. Again, I always feel very excited for the authors when that happened. I think this is by Penn Cole. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that's the author's name. But yeah, anyway, so I have to wait. But people really love this series. I think the series is very overhyped. I would say the first book and the third book were fine, and I did like the second book. I like the second book the most. I think it's an interesting concept. I like the world. I like the story. I liked most of the characters. The main female character, though, especially in the third book, she annoyed the heck out of me. And like something about the third book, where it was just kind of like, it was way too long for one thing. It was over 1,000 pages, and I really did not think it needed to be that long. I really think it needed some editing. And my laptop's dying. I felt like the main male characters, like, kind of had some regression in his like character development in the third book. I don't know. I think I still would recommend this series. Like, I think I hate telling people no for a series, because again, like how I said in the beginning, I think reading is so subjective, and something I don't like, you could love. And so I never like to like really like, there's probably very few books that I've read where I'm just like, I would not recommend that at all. But most books I'm like, I think you should try it. I don't think this was a horrible series by any means. I did enjoy it. I mean, I kept writing them. I'm going to read the last one when it comes out. But I do think it's a tad overhyped, though. Reclaiming Kate. I vaguely remember this, and I don't remember liking it. So I think I'm going to put it short of finish. Ricky Recovery, a male hockey romance, like a hockey player and his like physical therapist, I think. I liked this book. I remember liking it. I think liked it, would recommend. Okay. We're getting close. We're almost there. I think I'm going to jump around a little bit. Because I don't know. Mix things up. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I was talking about L. Kennedy earlier. And this is a whole series. The Deal, The Mistake, The Goal, The Score, and Legacy. The Legacy. This is a interconnected series. Hockey romance, college. I forget what the series as a whole is called. Let me look it up. The Off-Campus series. I liked the series as a whole. I think I liked some better than the others. I don't think I loved it. I think that the one I liked the least was The Goal. And that's because of the trope in it. I don't know if I want to give out the trope. It's not my favorite trope. The trope in that one is, I won't tell you. But the rest, I think I would put in I liked it, would recommend. Because the series as a whole, I did. I liked it and I would recommend it. I think the Legacy, maybe I would put it was fine. So, yeah, I think it's fun. If you like hockey romance, college hockey romance, I say give it a shot. Let's see. What else can I, like, pick apart here? Wrong Place, Wrong Time. This is kind of a... You'll see like a thriller or something like that thrown in every once in a while. I got another one here, The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Wrong Place, Wrong Time I read because it was part of the book club I'm in, and I remember liking it. Actually did, I know earlier I said I don't do mini audiobooks, but I did do this one as an audiobook. And I liked it. I think it was fine. What else? So decisive. No, I think I liked it and I would recommend it. I think if you like, what is it? Would you call it mystery? I think this is more like a mystery. I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I think if you like a mystery book, I think you'd like that. So I would put that like it would recommend. I remember I enjoyed it, and it's not usually my typical genre. Let's just put Rule of Your Own, chore to finish. I remember I didn't like this. I don't even remember a lot about it, but I remember I did not like it. I remember it was hard to finish. I remember there's a weird scene in it. So, would not recommend. Another one, I think this is my last chore to finish, probably, is Serious Trouble. Terrible. No, wait, I don't want to say that. Sorry. For me, it was terrible. It was very hard to finish. I remember telling my husband multiple times, like, I don't know if I can finish this book. But I was, like, so close. I'm just like, no, just power on through. This was like early, it's like towards the beginning of the year last year. And I was like, just power on through. But yeah, no. I think that's the last of my chore to finish books. So not too bad. I didn't read too, there's a few in there, I guess. But not too bad for those. But anyways, let's see. What else? Okay, let's talk about the Veiled Kingdom and the Hunted Heir. This is a series. The third book comes out this year by Holly Renee. I liked the Veiled Kingdom. I liked it. I think I would recommend it, but Hunted Heir, maybe it was fine. Maybe I should have had it. Maybe I should have added a tier in here. It was like I just didn't like it, because I wouldn't say it was a chore to finish, but I think like the problem is like I feel like almost nothing happened to that book, and she's gonna have a third book, and like the third book's shorter. These aren't even very long books. I think the first one's maybe around 300 pages. I own the first one, and then the second one was shorter, and the third one's even shorter. And I kind of feel like it did not need to be 3 books, because in the second book I just feel like nothing really happened. So I don't know why she needed to make it 3. I have a feeling the third book and the second book could have been 1 book. I just felt like there was, I don't know. It was a disappointment. I'll just say that. Veiled Kingdom though, I remember liking it pretty, like it was good, but yeah, Hunted Heir, not so much. So, oh wait, there's one more chore to finish. Sanctuary of Shadows. I think I was like nicer about this at the time, and I think I gave it 3 stars, but I don't think I would even, in hindsight, I don't think I would. It was just like, it's just not good. It wasn't for me. It was like, I don't know. I read it early in the year. I don't even know if I can remember exactly why, but I remember it. It's not for me. It wasn't for me. I just need to keep saying that. I hate saying it's bad or whatever. It wasn't for me. Okay. So we have some more Kayla Grosse books. Wrote Me In, and Silver Fox. So the first book is called Wrote Me In. I read that in 2023. This book's called Wrote Me In, and that came out this year, or last year, sorry. Kayla Grosse, cowboy romance, spicy. I would say her full length, this one's like a normal novel length. They're not as spicy, I don't think, as her novellas. I feel like her novellas are a lot more spicy, but they're still spicy. I really liked it, would recommend, I think, for that. And Silver Fox is another one of her novellas. Age gap. This one's an age gap romance, which isn't usually my favorite, but I liked it too. I liked it, would recommend. I would always recommend her books. Some I love and some I like. But yeah. Both like those. I think this book's called Sleep Kitten. And I remember it was fine. It was also part of a trilogy and I didn't continue it, so it was fine. Don't really remember much about it. Fake Out, also it was fine. This is a baseball romance. Don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember not hating it. The Long Game, I remember liking this book. Like it, would recommend. This is a soccer romance. It's like a retired soccer player, I believe. I remember liking it. Some of these I read, it's like I read them so long ago. It's hard for me to like remember like details, but I do remember liking that one. This one is called, I won't say the name. Maybe I'll just call it the kitty next door. Okay. There's this, actually, I keep lying to you. That one also was a chore to finish. I read the first two. Actually, wait. The Wiener Next Door. No. The Wiener Across the Way is the second book of that series. The first book I read in 2023, and they're very fluffy. They're a little too fluffy. So it's like, if you like fluffy romance, then maybe you'll like them. I wouldn't say they were both a chore to finish. Like, again, I'm wishing I put another tier in here. I guess I'll just put this one. It was fine. I wouldn't recommend it. This one was a chore. It's like, I'm not going to continue the series because it's like a brother, like 7 brothers, I think, or something like that. And she's going to do a book for each of them. And after that one, I don't really have any interest to continue the series. So, just as I said, they're too fluffy for me. Just too much fluff, not enough like substance, I guess. Let's see. The Little Prince is a kid's book, okay? So, but my friend and I were like, it has a good following, like an adult following, because it's very profound. It's a very profound little kid's book, and I loved this book. I think everyone should read it. I don't care that it's a kid's book. I think it's so profound. Read that book. It's quick. You can read it in an afternoon, or probably an hour. Yeah, read it. The Next Best Fling. I remember this was like a fake dating. This is a fake dating trope. And I think it was fine. I don't think just fine. Nothing jumps out at me. I can remember it though. So yeah. The Rebound is an Audible original. It is narrated by Claudia Jessie. You might know her from Bridgerton. I loved this book, actually. I really love this book. And again, like I told you guys, I don't do a lot of audiobooks, but this one's only an audiobook because it's an Audible original. And she does an amazing job narrating this. I want to put this in I loved it because I remember really loving it. I remember I would, like, a lot of times when I do listen to audiobooks, I typically only listen to them when I'm working. And then like I'll read a different book outside of work, but this one I couldn't stop listening. So I went through it pretty quickly because I couldn't stop listening to it. Okay, The Jock and the Quarterback is a duology. Quarterback. The Jock and the Quarterback is a football. There you go. My favorite sport ever. Football duology. And I love these. These are also by Tal Bauer. I talked about them earlier because they wrote Gravity. I loved The Jock. I put it on my top books from last year. The Quarterback, I liked it, would recommend. Quarterback's another age gap romance. Again, I'm not a huge fan of age gap, but it made me really like the book. So, yeah, they're a little heavier, especially The Jock. A little bit of a heavier romance, but I really loved them. Let's see. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Wren in the Holly Library. It was fine. This is another one I actually did as an audiobook because I just trying to get through more books and I don't have enough time. So I've been like attempting audiobooks a little bit here and there. And I shouldn't have. Fantasy as an audiobook first time read it's not for me. I think I need to read it. It was fine. It has a sequel coming out this year. I'm unsure. I'm unsure if I'm going to continue with it or not. The book's gorgeous, though. I'll tell you that. Charm Offensive. I liked this book. Liked it, would recommend. This is MM romance. It's kind of like he's like on a, kind of like a bachelor, like, show. And the other guy is like a producer, I think. Or he's like a handler. Like, he's like, I don't know, handler of the talent. I think he's a producer. Anyways, I liked it. It's very cute. Good mental health representation in that book. I liked it a lot. Sword Cross, another MM romance, and I love the double entendre of the title. I liked it, would recommend. It's kind of like, I would kind of compare it to Legend of Lattes in the sense of it's like a cozy fantasy, but this one's spicy, whereas Legends Lattes isn't. And I liked this one more. So like I said, I think I get behind a book like that sometimes, but yeah, I like that one. Another cozy read that I read was The Spell Shop. And this one was fine. It was cute. That one was cute. Again, it's kind of like on the Legend Lattes. It's like a cozy read, a teensy tiny bits of romance. But yeah, I think it was cute. Okay, let's see. DM Diaries. I think I remember liking this book. Liked it. I don't know. Not much more about that. Liked it. Love in the Time of Serial Killers. It was fine. It was, the premise of this book had me because it's like she like thinks her neighbor's a serial killer. So I was like, oh, that could be interesting. But like literally that's like, it's like 2 minutes of the book. Like, I don't know. So it wasn't bad. It was just maybe a little boring. Maybe is its thing. So it's fine. Not horrible. It's fine. Maybe not for me. Same thing with My Roommate is a Vampire. It was fine. Nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I don't really feel much of either way. It was fine. I think a lot of these last books are going to be in that category. It was fine. Ruthless Vows. So Ruthless Vows is the second book of the duology, Divine Rivals duology. I loved Divine Rivals. I read that in 2023. Ruthless Vows came out last year at the very beginning of the year. It was actually, I think it came out at the very end of 2023, and it was the first book I finished in 2024. I liked it. There were things I didn't love about that one. There was issues I had with the wrap up of the. Oh, can I please talk of the wrap up of that duology? But I still liked it. I still liked it overall. Wildfire, the second book of Hannah Grace's Maple Hill series. This is my least favorite of the trilogy. I think I just put it in. It was fine. I don't know what it was about it. I don't think the characters were as memorable to me as Icebreaker and especially as Daydream. So it was fine. Whistleblower, also it was fine. This is like a workplace romance. Dark. I guess kind of a dark romance. Well, morally gray character. I don't know if I consider it dark romance. It was fine. The Rule Book. I remember liking the Rule Book. I recommend it. Yeah, I think I would like it. Like it would recommend. It's a football player and like his agent, I believe again. I think there was another one in here that was like that. Right? Let's see. The Witch Collector. I remember liking The Witch Collector, but I didn't rush out to read the other books. This was another one where I was like, at the time when I read it, there was like some discourse on when the first 3 books were out, and there was like some discourse about when the 4th book was coming out, because I guess there was some issues with publishing, and it kind of made it sound like maybe it would never come out. So I was kind of like, do I even want to continue this? Because what if the book never comes out? But I think it is actually coming out. I remember I liked it. I think I'm going to revisit. I think I want to actually finish that. I think it's 4 books. I don't know if that is the end of it, but I think the 4th book's coming out this year, I think now. Okay, the last book is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, which also, again, not my typical read. I'm not usually into thrillers or, I guess, yeah, thrillers, but my friend bugged me to read this with her, so I did. I had another one where I did audio. I realized thrillers are a little easier for me to do with audio than like a fantasy or a romance. I'm just really picky with the narrators, and I think that's something I didn't love about this, because I really hate when like a guy does a woman's voice or a woman does a guy's voice. Especially what annoyed me about this one is they had a woman and a man to like voice these, but yet like the woman did not voice the women parts in the guy chapters, or vice versa. And I was just like, why? You had the two actors, like, why'd you do that to us? Anyways, but I liked it. Would recommend. If you like a thriller, I didn't see the twist coming. No. So I would recommend it if you like thrillers. And that's it. It took a while. Ranking my 122 books I read in 2024. Again, I'm so sorry I did not look at the camera like half this video. I mean, you're going to be well acquainted with the top of my head, I guess. But yeah, here they are. I have The Lives rent free in my head. Again, yeah, I think that I'm happy with where everything ended up. Loved category, liked it, would recommend. I'm not surprised. Most things made it in the liked it, would recommend, or the it was fine category. Not surprised by that. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm proud of myself actually that there's only two, and I read this, that I actually remembered at least vaguely remembered most of the books I read last year. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And then, I mean, again, kind of a lot. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 books in the A Chore to Read. Yeah, 13. So I obviously need to get better at DNFing books. If I'm not liking it, I need to let myself know it is okay. And you need to know it is okay if you are not having fun with a book to stop reading it. It's fine. We're not trying to prove anything to anyone. And it, not all books are for everyone. I think, like I said, that is, I firmly stand by that. Not all books are for everyone, and reading is subjective, and just because I liked a book doesn't mean you're gonna like it, and just because I disliked a book doesn't mean you're gonna dislike it. And like I said, that's one of my favorite things about reading. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this one. It's gonna be a long one, so if you made it through all of it, I very much appreciate it. If you liked it, I would love it if you liked, commented, and subscribed. You could also hit the bell button so you can be notified when I upload a new video, and I'll see you in the next one.